Hi, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create your first survey. Now, we are currently on the default My Company Surveys page, which is what you default to once you log in. And you can see already that in this case, I have two surveys already here listed. If you have nothing listed, that's because you haven't yet created your surveys. But as you do, you will find them here. And there's also a search icon here. So as you have more and more surveys, and if you segment these between teams or locations or cohorts of individuals, you can also search them by name here. I'm just going to go through this really quickly before we start our first survey. You have the survey name. This is something that you will choose, and I recommend that you have an agreed naming convention to help you identify the surveys really easily, but also when it comes to search later on. You also have the type of survey. So you have either an individual or an organization survey. So you can't have both in the one. The individual survey is about how that individual sees their need for meaningful work, what they need, what they desire for meaningful work. And the organizational type is how the employer is providing meaningful work to that individual. So this is a difference between the two. And as you create your first surveys, we recommend that you actually send out both so that you can compare what they're saying they need against how you're providing that. You've also got the status. So you'll have open if it's still running, or perhaps it will be closed if it's past the end date. The number of responses, which is hyperlinked to those responses, I'll show you that in the next video, and the start and end date. And if you have create and modify privileges, you'll also have the action to edit and manage access for those individual surveys. Now let's create our first survey together. I'm going to go to the right-hand side and press Create Survey. Again, you are presented with a pop-up as you have been in other parts of the dashboard. This is where you put in your survey name. So as I mentioned, it's a good idea to have something that's consistent. In this case, I'm actually going to pretend that I'm setting up my organizational survey for 12 months down the track for February 2023. In this case, it's an organizational survey, and I'm going to select my start dates. Now I've chosen 2023. So I'm just going to go into 2023 and see if I can get into that. February, there we go. And I'm going to make it for the month of February. There we go, of 2023. You're also asked to provide a description, and this can just be some notes or references. This is internal, which others won't see that. So I'm just going to add compare to 2022 results. Okay. You have the option to also add some custom questions. You have up to 5 custom questions you can add. If you would like, simply add in your question and choose whether it's multiple choice or free text. And then once you have finished there, you simply press Create Survey. Before I do that, you can see that when you selected to create the survey to begin with, you were already presented with the survey URL. That is the survey URL that you will send out, and you will use whether it's all your internal communication channels. So whether it's over email, or perhaps you use Teams or Slack or any other kind of internal communication tools, this is the URL that you will send out for people to access this survey. I'm going to select Create Survey. So as you can see now, I have this survey here for February 2023. It's an organizational type. It's currently closed because it's outside of the start and the end date, and I have 0 responses. Now, if I wanted to edit this survey, I can just click on the edit icon and make any changes. I might say, actually, I'm going to make it to end of March or middle of March instead, and I can update that there. There's also the option to delete the survey and manage access. And again, only if you have these privileges can you do this. So I may want to give this survey access to a particular survey manager, I'm going to choose just some people that I have set up already. I think I can select them all. And Veronica is part of this group. And I'm going to press save. So now Veronica, who's a survey manager, has access to this survey and the results. And that's how you create a meaningful work profile tool survey.